Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Roush, and welcome back to the postseason interviews of Pokemon Speedruns Draft League Season 3. Today, I have with me.
Jake, the explosion expert, the Jellicent Jammer, the Chandelure champion, the Azumarill asshole, the Parish Song pimp with the RazorBlades. What's going on?
Fantastic introduction. So, as he said, he is the coach of the RazorBlades, and we are going to go ahead and start talking about his team. A couple of the Pokemon that he listed off in his fantastic little rap there. He's got Chandelure, he's got Jellicent, he's got Azumarill. Aside from that, Victini, Metagross, Rhyperior, Exeggutor, Mega Absol, Donphan, Whimsicott, and Escavalier. Now, you did make a couple of trades earlier on in the season. So originally you had drafted a Weavile, but then you flipped it for Latios. Why did you do that?
Okay, I had no plan what drafting was like. I had no idea. I just wanted a fast Pokemon and originally that had ice coverage, so I put Weavile because I had tier 1 left for goodness reasons. And then in week 2, I remembered that I have a massive ground weakness. I wanted something that can withstand or at least like negate ground. So I picked something with Levitate because all flying types were gone that I wanted. And a few weeks later, I noticed the glaring dark weakness in my team and thought, what the heck? Pull that back and put a Azumarill in.
Which, in my opinion, was way better than Latios, but as you said, you still had that ground problem. It did persist through most of the season. But I feel like you had a couple of resistances. You had the Whimsicott, which is actually a resistance as opposed to some other things. It actually boasts a defense stat. So, yeah. But aside from that, why don't you go ahead and take me through your team? What was everybody doing, and why are they named who they are?
Okay, I guess I'll start from the top. So I picked Victini because I played with it like before the draft. I just got it back into playing Pokemon, and I played it in OU, and I loved it. But I played it with Z Celebrate, which I originally didn't know was banned. I knew going later in the draft, but I already had it and it's a fun Pokemon. And it has amazing coverage, so I thought, what the heck, it's a great thing. And I named it V-Trigger because I'm a huge wrestling fan and also fighting game fan. It's a finisher of a wrestler in Japan. And I just liked it. It fits well with Victini, I gotta say. Am I just going through this alone?
Yeah. Just go through them all.
Yeah, okay. Metagross, I wanted a steel type that can withstand toxic, or like at least go into it. I thought Metagross was cool. I had trouble fitting it in, but it learned Explosion, which is obviously one of my favorite moves because I overuse it very often. Named it Samoa Joe because it's heavy, it's going on, and I'm still a huge wrestling fan. Like all my nicknames are wrestling themed, really. He's a big hard hitter that can tank a punch. Chandelure, I fucking love Chandelure. At this point in the draft, when I picked Chandelure, I knew that I was going Trick Room, or at least a slower team for Trick Room that has the potential for it. And I know that Chandelure has one of the best special attack stats for tier 3. And I thought, this is gonna be a good one. I love it. It gets some coverage even for water with Energy Ball. I just like the mon from the design, and since Gen 5 was the last thing I played, it was still fresh in my mind. And I named it Kane because it's fire.
I could definitely see that you have this Gen 5 vibe going around with Victini, Metagross, Chandelure, Jellicent,
Escavalier,
and Whimsicott, and all of those are Gen 5 pokes. And I can appreciate that. It was a fun generation.
Especially like the second games, they were great. I wish they had this post-game content. Anyway, continuing on the Pokemon, I got Jellicent. I knew that Jellicent is a good special wall. I didn't get Tentacruel. I thought that was a good replacement. You don't get to pick Toxic Spikes. You get to have Hex and Toxic, though.
You do actually have recovery, though.
you have recovery. You get Water Absorb. I guess.
Yep.
And even like Cursed Buddy proved to be very effective in a certain match. So I thought it was a great replacement for a special wall I didn't really have at the time. And I still lack a little bit of special wall in my team. But it's been great so far playing with it. And it can be diverse. I've played it with Scarf and what's a move called if you have more HP? The water move?
Oh,
Water Spout.
Water Spout.
Yeah. And this is the only nickname I didn't name after wrestling because I couldn't find a water themed wrestling thing, so I just named Moana after the movie. And I think I always played as a male. That is actually bad.
Anyway. That's hilarious. Yeah, you did.
I just like the blue.
Yeah, there's no pink non-Pringles man Jellicents.
I wish it got a purple one because purple's my favorite color.
Shiny female's not purple?
I don't know. One is green and the other one I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know it's green. Yeah.
The green one is ugly as fuck. Anyway, moving to Rhyperior. I thought about that. I needed a tier 4 at the time, I think, because I did something. Yeah, I needed a tier 4. Rhyperior stuck out to me for some reason. I think my girlfriend played it at the time in her Soul Silver copy, and it was a throwback for me, and I thought, hey, it's a second option that gets me like Stealth Rock and Rock Ground coverage.
FYI, yes, it is purple.
Oh god.
Shiny female is actually purple.
I'm an idiot.
Aww. That would have been so good, though. Yeah.
It gets Earthquake, too, so I got 3 mons on my team that got Earthquake, which is obviously one of the best moves still in the fucking game.
Except for the fact that our division had Tapu Bulu.
Yes. I'm actually gonna try to swear less, by the way.
It doesn't matter, keep going.
Okay, sure.
It doesn't bother me.
Tapu Bulu wasn't that much of a factor as we go into later.
Yeah.
So Executor, I basically picked it because I like it. I thought it would be able to do more. I've picked it once because it got Explosion and the other one because it had Sunny Day, and I thought I can negate a rain team with it. Bad ideas all around. But generally, I love the design. I named it obviously the New Day because it got 3 heads. The New Day is a 3-man tag team in WWE, and I thought it was so fitting. It was basically a joke because I think everything else was nothing I would pick anyway. So the Absol was my first pick, and
yeah, clearly you didn't know how draft leagues would work.
Yes. It was obvious. I feel like in the end I got it to work better than I did the first times. I'm still working on getting that mon to do well. But I've got a few ideas right now for playoffs. But I wanted the extra -20 points in the system. That was my main goal. I thought that was something people would gun out for. And I adore Absol. When it got the Mega Evolution, I was so happy because I just love the design, and I'm a sucker for good graphical design. I guess it really divides opinion sometimes, Absol, because it's so goddamn edgy. But I like the. I feel like the Mega is almost angelic and dark and so moody. I don't know. It speaks to me on some level, I guess.
It's mystical. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to push you on along a little bit further.
Yeah, I named Bella because Finn Bella, the demon. I thought that was fitting.
Yep.
So Donphan, it's pretty basic. It gets Rapid Spin. It gets Earthquake, Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, all the good stuff, and that at a cost of a tier 3. I think that was a pretty good mon. It had Sturdy, gets Ice Shard, which was a pretty big ice coverage. I think I should have had more ice coverage in my team, really. But I think it's a good mon just all around for a tier 3 to pick up. And Whimsicott, obviously, Whimsicott is one of my favorite Pokemon. I goddamn love it because it's actually, to me, so funny because it can be like annoying with Encore, Taunt, Toxic, U-Turn, like that stuff, Defog. But you could run it technically offensively and try to pick up a few kills here and there, which I've done or tried. It definitely worked better in practice in OU than it did in the tournament. But I'm still happy it got this. I got it somehow. I don't know. Named it Leo Rush because Leo Rush is a little flying cruiserweight in WWE who is very annoying and speaks a lot and talks a lot shit. And I thought that would fit the role of Whimsicott perfectly, a little prankster who does shit. And so as Cavalier, at that point I knew I wanted to get a Trick Room, something really slow, something hard hitting. As Cavalier is great for that. It obviously has a glaring fire weakness, which I forgot once or twice during the
Hey,
matches.
you didn't forget when it mattered.
Yep, I didn't when it mattered. Anyway, it's got some good stats. I always forget that it has the rather low defense. I always think it has more. Like it has 105,
it looks like it should.
It's got 70 base HP. I think that's the problem, really.
Yeah.
And I still like it. It packs a punch. If you get Trick Room set up, boy oh boy, it hurts.
No, that thing's scary. It one-hit KO'd a bulky Incineroar after Intimidate with the Swarm. Like, that thing is disgusting powerful.
Yeah.
And then
of course, Azumarill. It was probably best pickup of the draft, bar Victini, probably. I tend to overlook things that got added later on. Later on the generations gap, I tend to overlook it. So when I found out it had Sap Sipper and got Whirlpool Perish Song, I was like, God damn, this is fun. And I picked up a few kills over that, and I got the Bellodrum version, and it like fit the team in some way I needed, so I loved it. And the nicknames. Oh god, I forgot the Escavalier. It's of course fucking Pun and John Cena, Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon Cena. Yeah.
And then obviously originally the Weavile was named Rey Mysterio because fast and hard and hitting and shit. Because he's a cruiserweight and like the little small guy. It doesn't really fit much as Azumarill, but it just can't.
I mean, it has Aqua Jet.
Yeah, but it's like I don't feel like Azumarill like even visually is that small guy who sprints around you. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that little fat dude.
Well, and you brought it up, Perish Trapping Azumarill. So we're gonna talk about your set of choice for this, which you just finished up the match versus King K. You literally brought what we're gonna dub from here on out as the Suicide Squad, and somehow you managed to forget that Whimsicott learns a suicide move. So Leo Rush was expert belted this week. 261 HP, 153 attack, doesn't matter. Defense 212, special attack 253, 187 special defense, and 357 speed. With the timid nature, Energy Ball, U-Turn, Psychic, Moonblast. Mainly there, it looked to be to get chip off on some things, and I'm actually trying to speed this up because we're a little behind schedule. But we're going to go ahead and get into the match. So like I said, you had brought Suicide Squad. Your Metagross had already went boom. And the Azumarill, you literally just sacked it so that you could get... You wanted to get suicide kills up for the league.
I just wanted suicide. That was all I wanted, and then I used the Whimsicott to like finish off things that didn't already get killed. So I wanted to get it a few more points on there because I just love the Pokemon. It's nice.
It's a fun Pokemon. It's really useful for a Draft League format.
Yeah, it's versatile, and that's what you're looking for, right?
Yep.
And then I obviously forgot Memento existed, but this is just a Suicide Squad match, dude.
Yep. And you let the Dragonite get 3 kills because of it.
I mean,
it got the 2 Absol kills, the Victini kill on the Suicide, and then because you forgot Memento existed, you let it finish you off with Supersonic Sky Strike. But
yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't.
It wasn't too
It was
serious.
faster anyway because it was Infiltrator, right?
Yeah, it was Infiltrator. But if you had brought it, I'm assuming that you would have been smart enough to throw Prankster on there.
Yeah, probably.
So really quickly, playoff bracket. You are over here. You are the subject of one of the most highly debated, actually the most highly debated quadrant of this bracket. So who is your final 4 picks?
Final 4. I'm going with I'm just going with my heart here. I gotta look at it on my screen. This is way too small for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm okay. So top left, I think Dolphin's gonna pull through.
Yep.
I think you're gonna pull through. Bottom left. Bottom right, I think Gino is gonna go through it. I want him to tear Ninja down.
Unfortunately, yeah, Ninja is like the villain of this season.
Yes, but like he's made himself that. So
yeah.
He can't cry about it. And top right, I don't effing know. I'm gonna be a good sportsman and say Sun Rakasha is actually pulling through.
That's actually unfortunately. I'm gonna admit that Sun has been my pick all along. I feel like in terms of team matchups, Sun Rakasha is smart enough a battler, smart enough a builder. He'll be able to defeat you, and I think he's got a great team matchup. I honestly, whoever wins your round 1 matchup, I feel like can beat Gorgon. Because I think Gorgon just plays too straightforward, and you guys both have good team matchups against him. So I think whoever wins...
we've had that talk already. I think there's a good chance. I would say it's a 70% him, 30% me, or some shit. Something like that. I definitely give the odds to him.
I give the odds to you. Oh, between you and Sun. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about grades. Your team building so far this season, you've done a lot of work with people in the community. So you've kind of changed your battle style to kind of adopt what everybody else has been giving you. I love that you've been using your support mons in different roles. And in fact, a good majority of your mons have been supporting cast, like especially with you using Paris Trap Azu as much as you have. It's creative. It can get a little bit predictable, but I think you're smart enough. You'll be able to build around problems like that in the future. But overall, your team builds have been solid. Definitely work on getting to stuff like Victini, to Chandelure to help generate kind of end game scenarios. Sometimes your teams did lack a little bit of synergy. You mentioned it yourself, you do have a ground weakness, you do have a little bit of a dark problem still too, even with the Zoomerl. But overall, I think you patched your weaknesses pretty well in Team Builder, and you were able to bring really good sets some weeks that really caught your opponents off guard. I'm actually going to give you a B+ for team building. I feel like you've done really well so far in team building, and I think you can definitely use that moving forward. Now, for match execution, like I said, you did use a couple of mons that you weren't quite as familiar with, and it took you a long time to really warm up to a couple of the sets that you were using. I feel like you didn't use Metagross as well as you could have, but Victini was used really well in some weeks. So it's kind of like more turbulent for you. It wasn't quite as consistent. I feel like you could have done better in that aspect. But the other times, you just looked like you knew what you were doing. You played the teams the way that they were. But just the fact that that turbulentness, if you will, persisted, I think I'm going to have to hand you a B for that match execution score. Overall, your team is fairly good. It does have some holes. You definitely stopped relying on that Trick Room core that you had originally set out to build with your draft in the beginning. You patched that up really well, even though Azumarill can also work in Trick Room, but you also have those mons that normally you would be using Trick Room for, like a Rhyperior type, like a Scavalier, you can have them and have done really well building them to work outside of Trick Room. And I think that is where your team's depth really comes into play. I love the team. I think, like I said, I feel like if you make it through the first round of playoffs, I feel like you have a much better matchup in round 2. So this could potentially be a top 4 in the bracket kind of team. And because of that, and I love your abilities, your overall score is going to be a B+. I definitely believe that you're a contender. Probably not a top tier contender, but you're definitely on the list.
I'm the underdog from the underground.
I like that. Anything else to say before we sign off?
I'm just gonna end with a famous Steve Austin quote. I'm Jake, and this has been the grading thing. And that's the bottom line, because Jake said so. Oh, hell yeah!
Fantastic. All right, see y'all later. Roush is out. Peace.